So hey guys, it's E here from Virginia Grace Living. So I'm outside here in my pepper patch out here, and I got a bunch of other stuff still growing from my early spring planting or later plantings. But right now I'm going to start focusing on fall and winter vegetables. Even though it's August and it's hot, early August, so I'm going to go ahead and start some seeds today that I'll be growing in the fall. So hope you guys enjoy the video and go ahead and follow along. If you're new to the channel, go back and check out some of the other videos. I think they'll be of good value to you. So before we go inside, just kind of show you some of the stuff we have going still right now. So this is our pepper bed that I have here. I have a ton of peppers growing in here. So nice, the cayennes are coming in really nice. Great pepper. I got a bunch of jalapenos. Some of them are turning red. I need to come in here and pick some of these. And then we have these lipstick peppers. They're nice, smaller, like just snacking type pepper. And we also have these tangerine dreams that are really good, along with some hot peppers. So our sugar rush peaches are taking a long time to turn, but they're finally starting to turn. You can kind of see there on that pepper. They're just a really pretty pepper, great flavor. And then we also have Calgarista here. They're starting to turn on us. We've done a few of these. These all keep coming in, so that's not by any means all the peppers we have growing here. I'll show you the hottest ones we're growing right now are these orange scorpion peppers right here. We've used a couple of them. Last week I made some peach pepper jam that was really good, and I used a couple of those with some sugar rush peach and habaneros. If you want that video, or if you want that recipe, I do have a video on that. Just go ahead and I'll go to the link in the description and I will post that in there. So we went in and planted some more cucumbers, and they're coming up, so that's good. Should get another harvest off of these before it gets too cold. Alright, so the tomatoes are starting to look a little rough, especially these heirlooms in this patch right here. We've had a ton of rain lately, and it has not done our tomatoes any good. The heat and the rain and the humidity have just kind of started to kill off some of these, older varieties. We're still getting some nice tomatoes. This is a nice one here I can go ahead and pick. But yeah, they're getting towards their end of life here, which is fine because I need some space to plant some of my fall stuff anyways. The cherry tomatoes are still looking pretty good. I got these black cherries. They're growing nicely. And I actually have kind of some extra tomatoes that I planted over here. So hopefully those give us a little bit more. And then our okra is doing well. Some of these haven't been out here to pick and gotten a little huge. So some of the spacing on these I got too close. Next year I'm gonna not put them so close. But yeah, you can see they're starting to look a little rough. So we'll pick what we can off of these in the next few weeks and get these pulled up so we have a new space to plant our fall vegetables in. If you stick around to the end of the video, I'm going to probably take some of these and make some sauce, show you kind of a lazy, easy way to make them. But yeah, I still have a ton of tomatoes. I mean, I've been getting good tomatoes, but they are starting to fizzle out a little bit. And but yeah, so there's nice San Marzano here. They've been coming in. So we'll take these and make a easy pasta sauce. So anyways, let's go get to talking about the fall seeds that we're going to start. Alright, so you can see I have my seed starting stuff out here. I'm not going to go through and show you how to start seeds and all that. That's not the purpose of this video. Just going to kind of talk about some of the stuff that I'm starting to plant right now so that you can get your fall garden started. We really like to plant collard greens, so I got some champion collards from Victory Seeds. Cilantro is something that really grows better in the cooler season here, we found out, so I'm going to try and grow some of that. It doesn't really do well in the heat. Rutabagas are one of my favorite things to grow in the fall. I'm going to grow some of those. Two different types of kale, scarlet and blue dwarf kale. Some cauliflower. A couple of different broccoli varieties. One's a hybrid, one's an heirloom. And we're going to try and grow some of this Napa cabbage as well. So we'll give these a try. Also some leeks and onions. see how they do, and try and overwinter those. So those are things that I'm going to be starting inside and then transplanting outside. Some things I'm going to direct sow, and not right now. It'll be next month when I start direct sowing these. Are going to be some carrots and try some beets, lettuce, Swiss chard, a couple things like that. So I'm going to try and direct sow some of those and get some of these started here now. Now, if you haven't checked out the fall gardening planner that I have, if you go back a couple of videos, there's a link there. I'll put it in the link here as well, but if you want to see the planner, you should go definitely check out that video. Kind of goes through a little bit more of my fall seed starting schedule. So like I said, I'll put a link to that in the description, but make sure you go check out that video. It has a lot of good information in it. So we're going to get these seeds started and get them up under our grow lights and everything. And then towards the end of the video, if you want to see how I do the tomato sauce in the roasting pan, you can go ahead and just hang out towards the end of the video and I'll talk about that. Alright, so I didn't get a video of cutting up all the tomatoes and everything, but basically just wash them as you would if you're processing them normally. Make sure there's no blemishes or anything gross on them. I just cut them in half and get the core part out and put it in my roasting pan and start it at around 250. Put the lid on and let that simmer down a little bit and start removing the juices. So a lot of people are going to say, well, you didn't take the skins off. I will go through, and once they start to come off, I'll collect as many of the skins as I can out of here, which usually end up getting most of them, but not all of them. Then whatever's left just going to get blended in with the Immersion Blender at the end. So I'll show you and keep you updated throughout the process. It takes several hours, so it's something that you can just have going kind of all day. Going before church this morning, but there was a lot of oftentimes before church there's a lot of things going on that take away from your attention span, so you got to do what you got to do. But anyways, I'm back now, so I'm getting these going, and we'll get these cooking down and I'll show you throughout the process. Alright, it's been about 30 minutes to an hour, and you can start to see some of the water pooling up in the corner here. So I just take a ladle and start to drain that off into a little mason jar here. You can take it, by the end of this you can probably have multiple mason jars, especially if you slam pack this full of tomatoes. So we'll go ahead and get these out of here, and then we'll give this a nice stir. You can start to see some of the skins going to come off of these already, and you can start peeling those right here. Just be careful, it is hot. But yeah, once you start stirring it, you'll notice you can probably get a little bit more water from different spots where it pools up. And it's just going to be a continual process of draining that water off every 20-30 minutes or so until you're satisfied with the consistency of it. So I'll keep doing this. I'll check back with you guys in a little bit. Like I said, I'll start pulling some of these skins. You can start to grab them. You can see them as they start to rise. I'm not a big stickler on making sure that I get every single skin out of here. Some people may be about that, and if that's what you want to do and you want to boil each tomato and all that, go for it. I have a very busy life and I do not have time to do stuff like that a lot of the time, so I'm trying to find some shortcuts. Obviously making your own tomato sauce is not really a shortcut. I could just buy it at the store, but I like to make it. I like to preserve what we have, and I like to not waste anything. So anyhow, this is what works for me, and yeah. Alright, so we've been cooking it down here and there, giving it a good stir. When you stir it like this, a lot of the times that will loosen up some of the skins too, and you can kind of start to see just some of the skins, and you can grab them. I'm losing my fork. Yes, this is hot, but like I said, do this at your own risk. If you're scared of touching stuff that's going to burn you, obviously be careful, don't stick your whole hand down in here. But anyhow, so my point is that I'm about to make is, at this point, it is totally up to you what you do with your sauce from here. If you're making sauce, you're going to want to cook this down quite a bit more. If you want to can stewed tomatoes, you can go ahead and start taking these and putting them in your jars. Make sure you use lemon juice. If you're going with the quart, then you need to use 1 tablespoon. If you're going with a pint, a half a tablespoon. You can add salt at this point if you want. Totally up to you. And then make sure you water bath can it using the approved canning methods that you can find, in that ball canning guide. If you don't have a copy of that, I'll put a link to that in the description. It's really good, especially if you're starting out canning, to make sure you're eating safely, following safe guidelines and all that. You don't want to get anybody sick. But at this point, you can go ahead and can it up and just use those as like whole peeled tomatoes or whatever. You can maybe mash it up a little bit and do crushed tomatoes, or you can continue to cook it down and go ahead and add in some other ingredients such as like peppers, onion, garlic, all that good stuff, and start cooking it into your sauce. All right, so I'm going to be cooking actual pasta sauce because we use that quite a bit in this family. It's nice to have for my wife to just be able to grab a jar and make some pasta, cook some Italian sausage or something with it. Easy dinner, the kids love it. So I usually try to focus my tomato crop on preserving it for that. If I have extra, I would like to make some salsa maybe, but we really like fresh salsa better. But if I have an abundance of tomatoes, I'll make some salsa. Or if I have a small batch, not enough to make sauce, whatever. But anyhow, so at this point I'm going to be putting in some onion, some garlic, and peppers. I don't really follow a recipe, guys, so I can't really give you a recipe. I just follow the safe guidelines and I go by taste. So I'll add salt, a little bit of sugar, my garlic, onion, red pepper, and then some basil towards the end. But that's really about all the ingredients I use. I just kind of, depending on how I want the flavor, I'll add a little bit more salt or a little more of this. It's totally up to you how you want it to taste. So, but yeah, I'll keep showing you the process and show you how I can it at the end. If you're interested in that, stay tuned. All right, so I'm gonna throw some of this in here. I don't know, I have a bunch of, basically almost a whole head of garlic, a couple onions, some peppers. They're just very roughly chopped up. So the peppers and stuff are from the garden. And we'll just go ahead and dump that in here. Stir it in. That'll release some water as well. So make sure if you're adding stuff like that, you give that time to cook down as well. And while we're at it, see if we can get a little bit more water off of here. So you'll see me putting these in mason jars over here, and that is because I'm going to can this as tomato juice. So waste not, want not. This tomato juice is, you could drink it if that's what you like. I don't really particularly drink tomato juice, and I don't think this is the kind of juice you'd think of when you think of traditional tomato juice that you buy from the store. But it's more of like a vegetable broth almost. If you make Mexican style rice, instead of using that tomato bouillon, you could use this, add in some salt, and it'll give your rice a really nice color. Or other dishes that you could add it into soups or just different things. Get creative. I like to cook, so I like to have a lot of different unique ingredients, and some small things like this tend to make a big difference in flavor. So we're going to continue to let this cook down. We'll get all these stirred in here, and yeah. Alright, so far I've drained off 2.5 quarts of juice. Like I said, I'm going to can this up. And these two, I will put 1 tablespoon of lemon juice and half a tablespoon of lemon juice in that one. I haven't added any salt or anything. That's totally up to you. I'm going to add salt to whatever I cook whenever I put that in it. So it looks like I have a little bit more juice I can drain off here. And then I'm going to start blending this up, and then I'll let it cook and evaporate off a little bit more. So hopefully once we blend it up, it'll be thick enough. I think it will. But let me show you how I'm going to blend that just a second, once I get the rest of this last little bit of juice off the top here. You're gonna go ahead and just put it on in there and blend it up. Takes a minute to get it going sometimes. Alright, so at this point we got some good looking sauce, fairly thick. I'm still going to let this cook with the lid off for probably another 30 minutes or so at least, and just so that whatever is steam and evaporating is just taking off some of that extra liquid that we don't want. So looking pretty good right now. I could probably go ahead and can this as is, but like I said, I'll give it a little bit longer.
Daddy's making this so we can have some pasta sauce whenever we have to make pasta.
That's right. Do you like pasta sauce that Daddy makes?
Yes.
All right.
And he has this to make it good.
While these jars are hot, I'm gonna go ahead and load these in with the sauce, and then we're gonna go ahead and process these in the water bath for about 15 to 20 minutes. Make sure you refer to the canning guide for your specific altitude and whatever you're canning. So yeah, don't use my methods here as a surefire way. Go ahead and do your research and check. But I mainly want to see, for the point of this video, is how you can use this roasting pan and kind of cut back on your time a little bit, or more useful use of your time. All right, so I have a bowl here. It's a little tip. When you're using this roasting pan, put it under there, and that's going to get you, it's going to get it to where you can get that sauce down to the edge a little better. All right, so it's a lot easier to use your ladle and everything. So we're going to go ahead and get these loaded up here. Again, either use lactic acid, I think it's citric acid, or you can use the lemon juice, and have to do that in order to make sure this is acidic enough to water bath can. So 1 tablespoon here, half a tablespoon here. Get them loaded up, put them in here, and we'll process these, and that'll be pretty much it. Alright guys, that's pretty much it for this video. I hope you enjoyed watching it. If you have any questions, be sure to leave your questions in the comments. Go ahead and check out the affiliate links and some of the other links that I have posted. I have a link to the Amazon store there as well, where you can find that ball canning book, as well as some of the other things I used during this video. So again, thanks for watching, and God bless.